Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
J- Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Jayasi
Jayasi
जायसि चेत् कर्मणस्ते
Mata Buddhir Janardana
मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन
Tat Kim Karmani Ghorimam
तत्किं
Tatkim
कर्मणि घोरे मां
Karima
Niyo Jayasi Keshava.
Niyoja.
नियोजयसि केशव.
Okay. Any volunteers who would like to read?
I can read.
Yes, please go ahead.
Arjuna said, O Janardhana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work? Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has very elaborately described the constitution of the soul in the previous chapter with a view to delivering his intimate friend Arjuna from the ocean of material growth. And the path of realization has been recommended Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness. Sometimes Krishna consciousness is misunderstood to be inertia, and one with such a misunderstanding often withdraws to a secluded place to become fully Krishna conscious by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. But without being trained in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, it is not advisable to chant the holy name of Krishna in a secluded place where one may acquire only cheap adoration from the innocent public. Arjuna also thought of Krishna consciousness or Buddhi Yoga or intelligence in the spiritual advancement of knowledge as something like retirement from active life and the practice of penance and austerity at a secluded place. In other words, he wanted to skillfully avoid the fighting by using Krishna consciousness as an excuse. But as a sincere student, he placed the matter before his master and questioned Krishna as to his best course of action. In answer, Lord Krishna elaborately explained Karma Yoga or work in Krishna consciousness in this third chapter.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading. Mataji. Okay. So here Arjun is asking question. Now Krishna had spoken the first in the first two chapters which we discussed. Krishna had spoken a lot of points, especially in the second chapter, and one of the points which specifically is creating doubt in the mind of Arjuna is when Krishna had mentioned Dure nahi avaram karma, that keep all abominable activities far away. So let me just bring that up so that okay. So this shloka, Krishna is saying keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Now this statement is making doubt because he's thinking fighting is an abominable activity in the mind of Arjun. Krishna is actually saying abominable activities to those activities which are born of selfish desires, fruitive desires for enjoying. Krishna was mentioning stay equipoised, abandoning attachment to success and failure. So this is what Krishna was mentioning and said keep this mentality far away. And Arjun is thinking, okay, so I have to keep abominable activities away, which means that fighting and all these activities I should keep them away. So that is creating this doubt that why are you asking me to fight then when you said these activities we have to keep far aside, dur rakho. So this is creating this doubt. Is it making sense to everybody? This is a little technical, so I want everybody to kind of pay attention and understand what doubts Arjun is getting. Based upon these questions, Krishna is going to explain a lot of things in the organized manner in coming sections. In the second chapter, lots of uh, points were made, and it was more like a foundation, but not necessarily elaborated and explained in details. So these are going to be explained now. We When we were discussing second chapter, we discussed them a little bit more because we wanted to make things clear. So we discussed, but more elaboration is going to be here. So Arjun is getting a doubt that, hey, you said to keep bad activities away, but now you're asking me to fight. What is this? This doesn't make really a whole lot of sense. This is in simple language. Is this particular doubt clear to everybody? Yes,
Yes.
no, maybe? Yeah. Okay. Now, Prabhupada in the purport is not just focusing on Arjun, but saying that this is how people generally get confused. They think that staying in a spiritual path like Krishna consciousness means that you don't have to do anything. You just withdraw, be in a secluded place. People will come and say, "Oh, great, Swamiji, Sannyasi ji, Maharaj ji," and then they will give you, a lot of attention, maybe give you money, give you charity. You say, speak some nice one or two words, and then they'll be like, "Ah, wow, what a deep thing." So like that, we can get adoration and we can just do whatever we want. This is how sometimes people think spiritual life could be. And even other people who may be seeing this person may also be thinking, oh, this person is. So some people maybe giving respect, but then others may be thinking this is how these spiritual people are. They withdraw from the society and they are good for nothing. So people may even criticize spiritualists in that way. But no, this is not how spiritual path has to be practiced. Prabhupada here is mentioning, without being trained in philosophy of Krishna consciousness, is it not advisable to chant the holy name of Krishna in the secluded place. So in secluded place, basically what happens is our mind will trap us. We have much more chances of distraction, and we may have more attack of uh, pride, illusion, and all these things, and we may think we are great, and then one can attract cheap adoration from innocent public, but that's not recommended. So Arjuna is thinking that he cannot make this decision of fighting. It's abominable, should not be, and maybe withdrawing from it, doing some, going to a secluded place, doing some austerity, all these things may be better. So he skillfully was trying to avoid making a decision. And many times happens in our life, so many of us, when we are in a situation, we have to decide, make decisions in our life which are tough, which are very difficult, and we have to choose, especially what happened to Arjun. Then it becomes very difficult. We feel like we have to withdraw, or we have to, you know, go away from this. But a serious, sincere spiritual practitioner puts this matter before Krishna, like what Arjun did. Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita, the devotees of Krishna, they are the ones whom a sincere practitioner looks for getting guidance. And based upon that guidance, one decides. So, this is how this particular chapter starts, the Karma Yoga. Now, karma word has a lot of meanings. Can anybody tell any meaning, any understanding? What do you understand by karma? Who would like to say?
It's the reaction that you get after you do something.
Okay, that's a very good point. So karma, sometimes we say, right, this is your karma. Like you had some kind of a good or bad situation in which you landed up. So people say this is your karma, which means this is the reaction of this process of karma, where you are enjoying the fruits, whether it is good or bad. So that is one meaning of karma, the reactions. What is the other meaning of karma? Thank you, Ansh.
Intention of an action.
I'm sorry?
Intention of an action.
Okay, so karma word in itself means activity or action. Any kind of activity is karma. So whether it is an intention or actual action, all these are included within karma. So that is another meaning of karma. Karma means any activity.
Mhm.
Very nice. What other meanings are there for karma? So karma word
क-
specifically, go ahead.
कर्मा जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं पिछले जन्म के कर्म है, कोई
हाँ
पिछले वो है,
हाँ हाँ हाँ
ये
हाँ.
भी इसमें भी है
So
ना.
this is the reaction, na? We see the reaction, whatever has happened, then we see this is previous years, previous lifetimes karma which we are facing now. So Ansh covered that one before. Is that what you are saying, right? पिछले जन्म के karma is the reaction which we are facing. Now the other karma point is when we say specifically for fruitive activities, means pious activity. We say, good karma is sometimes just referred as karma also. Do good karma. So that is called as karma. Bad karma is referred as vikarma. So this will come in future. So bad karma is called as vikarma and good karma is sometimes just called as karma. So that is another thing. So one is word karma means activity, one is reactions to activity, one is just good karma, and then the whole cycle of action and reaction, how it works, that is called as karma. So, like Mom was mentioning that कर्मा पिछले जन्म के कर्मा है और the other the whole cycle that you get do good activity you get good reaction you do bad activity you get bad reaction. This is the whole principle or the law of karma. So this is also called as karma. So karma word in itself has so many different meanings in different context. What is karma yoga now? Can anybody tell what is karma yoga? We discussed the word karma, but now what is karma yoga? So
When
what is
you are when you are invested, when from what I got from the reading, when you're invested in the work of the Lord.
yeah, so yoga means to connect. So to connect with the Lord using your activities or work. So this is karma yoga. So this is being explained in this particular section. In third, fourth, fifth, sixth chapters, we'll see a lot of discussion elaborating how karma yoga is to be practiced and how what is the difference between karma yoga and just simply karma or simply activity. Like I remember when I was in the college, first when I came in touch with the Bhagavad Gita, I was reading it. Then I came across these different uh, yoga systems, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, so on and so forth. So one of my friends, he was like, yeah, I believe in karma yoga. And I was like, okay. So what is your understanding of karma? Karma yoga means just do your work. Okay. But that's everybody's doing, right? Like even animals are doing their work. So what exactly is yoga in that? And he was not able to understand or answer. He had no idea. He said Karma Yoga was just do your work. So that is the misunderstanding that people don't know what Karma Yoga is. Karma Yoga means how to use your activities to get perfection by connecting with the Supreme Lord. So that is Karma Yoga. So we will have more discussion on that. Okay, any questions, comments, any points anybody would like to bring up? Otherwise, we'll go to the next shloka. Okay, we'll go to 3.2. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहायसीव मे
Buddhimohya
मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं पद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्.
येन श्रेयो
Amaya.
हनुयात्.
Any volunteers to read translation and purport? Who would like to?
I can read.
Yes.
My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. Purport. In the previous chapter, as a prelude to Bhagavad Gita, many different paths were claimed, such as Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, controls of the senses by intelligence, work without fruitive desire, and the position of a neophyte. This was all presented unsystematically. A more organized outline of the path would be necessary for action and understanding. Arjuna therefore wanted to clear up these apparently confusing matters so that any common man would accept them without misinterpretation. Although Krishna had no attention for confusing Arjuna with any jugglery of words, Arjuna could not follow the process of Krishna consciousness, either by inertia or by active service. In other words, by his questions, he is clearly clearing the path of Krishna consciousness for all students who seriously want to understand the mystery of Bhagavad.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So yes, Arjuna is put in a situation where he's asking on behalf of all of us. He's asking these questions not necessarily because it's going to just help him, but it is being asked um, for all of us. Krishna arranged this. Arjuna, of course, is asking for himself, but Krishna arranged to put Arjuna in that situation so that just by his queries, when Krishna explains, it is applicable and helpful to all of us. So in the in the second chapter, it was just mentioned, but not systematically, and it will be mentioned now in a more organized manner. So in this particular shloka, Arjun is saying that I'm bewildered. I'm not sure. You're saying don't do abominable activities, but then you're asking me to fight. Please tell me decisively which is most beneficial for me. So this is important thing. Many times we decide what is most beneficial and then we tell God, hey, God, please give me that, or have this be brought to me, or this, please give me this. This is how we pray to the Lord. But Arjun is asking for guidance. What is most beneficial for me? That is what one has to actually pray for, ask for. That I don't know what is most beneficial for me, but you know, my Lord, please guide me so that I can do what is the best thing. So, this is a sign of that person who is sincere and who's spiritually advancing. Does it make sense? Anybody wants to make any points on this? Okay, we'll go to the next shloka. So now Krishna is going to answer.
Just a quick question.
Yes, please.
So, what would be the connection of Sankhya and Buddhi?
Yeah, so Sankhya and Buddhi is basically going to be talked about in next shloka also. Sankhya means analysis. So in second chapter, we see how analysis of the body, the soul, the different elements were mentioned. And Buddhi Yoga means in using the intelligence to connect with God. Now, using the intelligence to connect with God could happen by understanding the scripture through Jnana Yoga, or it could also be by activities through uh, Karma Yoga, or it could also be through your devotion by Bhakti Yoga. So, Buddhi Yoga in different settings can have different meaning because it's basically how intelligence is being used to connect with God. Okay. So in this particular purport, Prabhupada is mentioning in previous chapter as a prelude to Bhagavad Gita, many different paths were explained, such as Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, control of senses by intelligence, work with fruitive desire, and the position of the neophyte. So basically, all these are different topics which were talked about previously. So there, Krishna had used the word Buddhi Yoga. So in different context, it could have slightly different meaning. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So we'll see these things coming quite often in these subsequent shlokas. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Bhagavan Uvacha.
Lokesmin Vividhanishta.
Okay.
Vividasishta.
Pura Prokta Maya Nagha.
Pura prokta maya anadha.
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Who would like to read this one?
I can read.
Please.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service. Purport. In the second chapter, verse 39, the Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, or Buddhi Yoga. In this verse, the Lord explains the same more clearly. Sankhya Yoga, or the analytical study of the nature of spirit and matter, is the subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness as it is explained in the 61st verse of the second chapter. The Lord has explained also in the 39th verse that by working by the principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action, and furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. The same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse that this Buddhi Yoga is to depend entirely on the Supreme, or more specifically on Krishna. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Therefore, both the yogas are interdependent as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment or sometimes fantasism, while philosophy without religion is mental speculation. The ultimate goal is Krishna because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth come in the end of Krishna consciousness. This is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The whole process is to understand the real position of the self in relation to the super self. The indirect process is philosophical speculation by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness, and the other process is directly connected uh, everything with Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Of course, the part of Krishna consciousness is better because it does not depend on purifying the senses by a philosophical process. Krishna consciousness is itself the purifying process, and by the direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. All right. Quite detailed purport. A lot of things are there. So we'll go little by little. First, translation. So Krishna is addressing Arjun as sinless Arjun. So Krishna is mentioning to Arjun that he has explained two classes of men who try to realize the self. First category is those who are doing it by understanding empirical philosophical speculation, which means they are trying to understand through shastras and through different jnana, different knowledge, and more into just understanding. These are more from Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga perspective. And the other is devotional service. Here, Prabhupada has used the word devotional service because even though here um, we can see here it says karma yogena yoginam. So this is that aspect of karma yoga which is actually having devotion because it's being done to connect with the Lord. So here Krishna is mentioning Sankhya. So Prabhupada explains here there are two kinds of procedures. One is Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. So this is from the 39th chapter, 39th shloka of the second chapter, where Lord has brought this. So Sankhya Yoga, they are the ones who are analytically studying the nature of different elements, spirit, matter, so on and so forth. And they like to speculate and understand things by philosophy and all of this. The others are those who are wanting to do activities, service, and they are included in the section of Krishna consciousness. And this Prabhupada is saying is explained in the 61st verse of the previous chapter. So in that shloka, Krishna has mentioned that how these people are controlling the senses, but their intelligence and mind is focused on the service of the Lord. Their consciousness is on the Lord, so that's why they are doing what is Krishna consciousness. And in the 39th verse, the point was working by principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action. And further, there is no flaw in the process. So the point was that not doing fruitive activities, but engaging in Krishna consciousness and Buddhi Yoga using the intelligence. So this is how in that particular section it was emphasized. And the same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse to restrain the senses and engage in Krishna consciousness. So these are different shlokas Prabhupada is quoting from the previous sections, which we have already discussed. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. So the process of engaging in the service of the Lord, keeping the senses engaged in the service of the Lord, actually makes the senses purified, and this way we can connect to the Lord directly. So one aspect is connecting through activities and service, and the other aspect is where we are philosophically engaging in the understanding of the scriptures. Prabhupada is saying both are important. Prabhupada is saying it's not that one is exclusive, that one is only going to do devotion or only going to do, activities or only going to do philosophical things. Both are important. So Prabhupada makes this famous statement. He says here, religion without philosophy is sentimentalism. So if somebody is practicing a religion but doesn't have a philosophy, logic, sound understanding, why it is being done, how it can be beneficial, what is really going to be the process to follow, all this comes in philosophical understanding. If one does not have it, then it's simply sentimental. Just some faith is there, but it could be blind faith, it could be superstition, it may not really be actual proper bona fide path. So that could be just sentimentalism. But even sometimes this sentimentalism can take a form where one is completely fixed in this and ready to attack anybody who is having any opposed idea, and that is fanaticism. So we see all these uh, terrorists, they are fanatics. They are actually fixed that this is the right thing, and if you do this, that's right, otherwise you are going to be killed. So they don't have a logic and a philosophical, in fact, they don't have philosophical understanding. But if you actually have a philosophical discussion with them, they will not be interested in that. You ask question, they'll be, no, you're questioning our belief or this particular book. They'll come up with their book, and they will understand in a very, very strict and narrow minded manner, and they'll say this is what it is. So that is called as fanaticism. So religion without philosophical understanding is sentimentalism or fanaticism. While on the other hand, if somebody has philosophy but then does not have religion or a religious process to apply that philosophy, then that is just mental speculation. It is just dry philosophy. It does not have proper means to connect with the Lord. And that is the main goal of religion, is to connect with God. So religion words come from the I think Greek word called religios, which means to bind back. Yoga word comes from Sanskrit yuj, which means to connect, and both are actually meant for connecting the jiva, the soul, to the super soul. So ultimate goal is Krishna, because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after absolute truth come in the end to Krishna consciousness. This is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, we'll see this shloka in subsequent sections. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudev sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. That how one very rare soul, after long time, bahunam janmanam, many lifetimes, he comes to this understanding that Krishna is the all in all, and such soul is very rare. In the 12th chapter also, when Krishna is Arjuna asks whether personal form of Krishna should be worshipped, or whether impersonal aspect should be the one who should be the source. So Krishna says at that time clearly, this is the 12th chapter, the Bhakti Yogas chapter, where Krishna says if one is fixing his consciousness on me, that person is very dear to me. And in the end, even those who are focusing on the impersonal, they will come to me, but that path is very, very difficult and long. So that is not really recommended as the first thing to do. Excuse me. Then Prabhupada is saying whole process is to understand the real position of the self in relation to the Supreme. So what is our position? How is our relationship with the Supreme? That is called as Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan means to understand what is Jiva, what is Paramatma, and how they are connected, how God and us we are connected. So that is Sambandha Gyan. And indirect processes is jnana or philosophical speculation, but gradually one has to come to the platform of engaging our activities in the service of the Lord. So that is karma yoga, and finally when it is completely purified, it becomes bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness. Other process is directly connecting everything to Krishna and Krishna consciousness. So this is direct process of bhakti yoga. Of these two, the path of Krishna consciousness is better because it does not depend on purifying the senses by philosophical process. Krishna consciousness is itself the purifying process, and by the direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. So Prabhupada, when he came to America, he actually had so many different hippies and young boys and girls who were not properly uh, cultured and behavior wise, in the highest spiritual realm. They were not hygienically very uh, careful. They were addicted to intoxication, drugs, and other things. So some people like that were there, and then some people were there who were just looking for something higher than what is this materialism. So there were different people who were driven with different agenda. But when Prabhupada came, they all who were serious spiritually actually started to attend his sessions, and many of them were able to directly engage in Krishna consciousness. So they didn't have to go through the different processes of Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and different sections of Ashtanga Yoga, but they were able to directly practice the Bhakti Yoga. And that's what Prabhupada is mentioning, that by practicing them, their habits got purified, their senses got purified. Because their senses got purified, they were able to give up all the other addictions which they may have had, all the other bad habits, all the other unclean habits, and they were able to live a life which was very, very pure. And this shows the power of Bhakti Yoga in this particular age of Kali Yuga, when it is very difficult to practice other processes, Gyan Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, or anything else. Will need a whole lot of a different environment for us to practice it rigorously. But Bhakti Yoga is so practical that in any time, any situation, it is actually our consciousness which we have to invest in the Lord, and our actions and activities we have to do as a service to the Lord. And that way we can perfect. Now, it may not have happened 100% immediately. It did not happen even with Prabhupada's students immediately. It takes time, it's a gradual process, but it has to be emphasized and attempted to be done on a daily basis. Every day we have to make decisions. Every moment we will get choices of whether we want to go towards Krishna or we want to stay away from Krishna. And depending upon our choices, Krishna will give us further choices. Or rather, if we are not in devotion, we will get the choices based on the karma. Whatever activities we are doing, it'll give us another situation in which more options will be there, and from whatever we choose to act, then more situation like that will come. So it is a very complicated process of action reaction. Krishna will be discussing this in subsequent sections. Okay, so I think I'll pause here. Anybody would like to ask any questions, comments, or anything? Because I think this is quite a lot uh, of aspect here which were covered. So I will um, not take any more shlokas, but if anybody has any questions, comments on any points, we can take that. Otherwise, we will end for today.
I just have a question as I
Yes,
was
please.
listening. So we talked about so many things, um, great, good karma, bad karma, and then bhakti yoga. Um, so thinking about these three aspects, I was thinking there are people who do a lot of bad karma. It could be relative in definition, but They know, and we all know that they are not leaned into bhakti yoga or, as you explained, in connection with the Lord. But they do bad karma, and yet they are also praying in the name of Lord. They do bad karmas. So, how in the lifetime that is rewarded?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So some people may do good activities, and some people may not do good activities. But those who are doing bad activities, but at the same time praying to God, what about them? So first of all, we have to understand that it is not like how we see in the modern government. Let's say if you have good connections with the government and you are good connections with the jail authorities and you bribe them and everything, and then you do what sort of a nonsense, then you get away from it with it. It doesn't work like that in the uh, world of action and reaction karma. It doesn't work like that, and it doesn't work like that even in spiritual life. So of course, if somebody surrenders to Krishna wholeheartedly, seriously, sincerely, giving up all the bad activities which they may have had, then they have a chance that yes, Krishna will forgive all of that and accept. So that is different. But if somebody is doing bad activities repeatedly, that person will have to face the consequences of all the bad activities he or she may be doing. Now, if he may be going to God and asking for something, or he will get credits for that also. He will get some or the other benefit. And eventually, if he keeps doing it sincerely, then he'll get transformation of heart. And with transformation of the heart, he will actually stop doing bad activity. So, one story is narrated in this particular connection. So, there was a thief, and this thief was engaged in a lot of robberies and a lot of this bad activities. And then he came in touch with these saintly people, the devotees, Hare Krishna devotees, and he learned, okay, no, no, these are bad activities. I should not do it. I should engage in the service of the Lord. And then he went for Tirth Yatra with them. They said, okay, we are going to this particular holy place, so you can join. So he joined. And then over there, he was so much addicted to thievery, he didn't know what to do. He's like, I'm at a bad, you know, I have a bad habit of doing these things, but I'm with these religious, pious people. I've learned about, spiritual life now. I want to seriously practice, but I'm getting so much urge to do thievery. So he started stealing the bags of those saints with whom he went. But he didn't take for himself. What he did is he stole and put one person's bag with the other person, another person bag with the other person, and like that, even though he was doing his urge what he was getting, but he was actually not doing it for selfishly reasons, and then he was just engaging this so that slowly this habit goes away. And in the morning when they all woke up, and they saw, hey, where's my bag? This is somebody else's bag. They finally realized that all the bags are exchanged. And then finally he came up and he said that actually I am the one who's responsible. And he confessed that how I have this bad habit, and because I was here with great people, I was doing this. So please forgive me. And they were actually very kind to him. They all helped him, prayed for him, and soon all his bad activities went away, and he became, completely free from all these bad activities. So it depends on our intentions. If we are not serious about it, if somebody is not serious and he's going with devotees and he starts stealing and taking it away, then he'll get huge, heavy karmic reaction, and he'll have very, very bad outcome in future if he does that. So therefore, uh, no, it doesn't nullify. It's not that you do bad activities and then go to the god and give some charity or money, or do some puja, and then you think everything is okay. No, this is not encouraged. In fact, this kind of a mentality is very, very inappropriate. Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. That's a good message.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice question. Okay,
I
yeah.
think Valmiki is also an example, na?
Yes, Valmiki is also an example. How he was engaged in a lot of nonsense activities of killing animals and all of that. But when he came in touch with Narad Muni, he followed the process seriously, sincerely, and completely became pure, and all those bad activities went away. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that example. Your questions are very practical, actually, Maushumiji. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. I um, relate it with educational path as
Yeah,
well as bhakti path. So
they have practical application. Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you. We'll end it here.
And thank you for the great explanations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Just hearing and sharing. We'll end it here. Granth Raj Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.